Hello and welcome back. My name is the Twin Leaf Matt and you are watching the Twin Leaf 2. I've been playing Pokemon all my life. I'm a certified Gen 1er and have decided to become a Poketuber with my best friend Twin Leaf Max because of that. Today we are going to be doing the second video in Generation 2 of our series of videos called Which Eeveeloution is Best? How we will determine this is by playing each evolution available in a generation in each game set. I will be judging the evolutions on time to defeat the game, my personal rating of how easy it was, as well as the level it finished the game at relative to the champion's highest level Pokemon and the other evolutions. Today's evolution is Umbreon, and I'm not gonna mince words here. Umbreon is a stall wall tank. This dummy thick guy here has a base stat of 130 special defense and 110 defense. This Umbreon has the 6th highest special defense stat and is tied for the 10th in defense. That may sound impressive and is great from Gens 2 to 4 where Umbreon was a viable Baton Pass stall wall option. He doesn't have access to Baton Pass in a solo run, and his best move to learn for his stalling isn't even available until around the 10th gym after the Elite Four is defeated. Umbreon is not a good mon for a solo run. The run was bad. That's why it's taken me almost 3 weeks to produce since the Espeon video. This isn't me joking like at the beginning of the Flareon video. This one was hard. Let's break this down. Umbreon has a base stat for attack of 65 as a fully evolved Pokemon. It's tied with Totodile and Shelder for its base attack. It has less attack points than Pokememes such as Dunsparce and Unknown. In addition, its special attack is 60, still 5 points less than Dunsparce. And in Gen 2, you guessed it, Dark does special damage. In addition, the best Dark move that Umbreon gets is Feint Attack, a 60 base power move. At least it never misses. So now you know the struggle, but you have yet to understand. Umbreon is a great competitive Pokemon, but for a solo run, can we even win? Spoiler alert, yes, we can. Can we do it vegan? Meaning, cheese-free? Let's find out. I started out by naming my Umbreon Gerard Way and had Max pick Chikorita. I knew Chikorita would be the biggest issue because it's the bulkiest of all Johto starters, and it has its own stall moves. I moved through the first mission, getting the egg from Mr. Pokemon, helped save Sprout Tower, and it was time to face Faulkner. Faulkner starts out with a level 7 Pidgey, which Gerard Way lowered its defense 2 stages, and still took 2 tackles to take it out. Then comes out level 9 Pidgeotto. I tried to tackle it, but seeing no damage done, I decided to Tail Whip a few times and take it out. This is going to be a long run, folks. I moved to Azalea Town and faced my first major hurdle, Bugsy. Dark is weak to Bug, and he has a Scyther with Fury Cutter, so my Stallmon gets 4-shot, so I have to act fast. Here's the first fight. 2-shot the Metapod with Pursuit, and same with the Kakuna. I then hit Pursuit a few times on Scyther before going down. I train up to level 20 and try again, this time adding Swift, and again, I'm not strong enough to beat Scyther. I tried this 2 more times, and decided to level up to 22. Here's how it went. 2-shot the Metapod with Pursuit, 1-shot crit the Kakuna, now Scyther. I started with a Tail Whip, and then went for Swift, doing about 1/3 damage. He missed a Fury Cutter, luckily, and I got a lucky crit and was able to take it out on my 3rd Swift. I made my way to Whitney and got ready to fight the infamous Meltank. I normally talk a lot of crap about the Meltank, but I did lose to it the first time I fought. It's the same issue as Fury Cutter. Rollout builds power every time it hits, and with a Stallmon, if Meltank gets no misses, it will easily take it out. Let's try Meltank again. After that, it's really a matter of just tanking out a few stab stomps and headbutting the Meltank until it faints. That's Whitney. The next hurdle is rival number 3. He starts off with a Haunter who I don't quite OHKO with a Pursuit, and the Haunter curses. Anytime the Haunter curses me, that's going to be a problem, because each turn after that, I lose 1/4 of my health. This is going to be difficult. I try it 3 times and lose because of curse, so I level up to 32 and try again. At level 32, I managed to get a lucky crit against the Bayleaf, and I'm able to survive the curse. Morty is an OHKO sweep, except for Gengar, which takes 2 shots. Gym 5 is Chuck the fighting leader. I'm scared but over-leveled. Primate was a 2-shot with Headbutt, and onto his heavy hitter Poliwrath. I started out by hitting Poliwrath with a Confuse Ray and started headbutting him down. He hit me with a few dynamic punches, but good confusion luck on both sides and Umbreon's tankiness, and I'm able to beat Chuck in the first time. I don't get the same luck against Jasmine. And an early paralysis ends my first run. One more try and some crit and no paraluck allows me to mud slap down all of Jasmine's Pokemon. I move on to the Lake of Rage, help out Lance, and it's time for Price. Price is an easy matchup. I have Feint Attack at this point, and I'm almost 20 levels above his Pokemon. I mash through with Feint Attack and I beat Price. After Price, I'm able to run through Claire with some Screech Confused Cheese. I neglect to teach Moonlife. I need all the moves I have, which I'm gonna regret later. The last rival is super uninteresting at this point. I'm much higher than him, and it isn't a difficult fight. Time for the Elite Four. It's gonna take a lot where I am to reach Espeon time, but we can try. First Elite Four member, Will. Will starts out with a Xatu, which I one-shot with a Feint Attack. He follows with an Egg Salad, and it's a one-shot with the Feint Attack. A crit Feint Attack against Slowbro gives me the Oko, and Xatu is an Oko. Okay, that's one down. Koga. Koga starts out with Ariados, and it takes a Headbutt and a Feint Attack. Venomoth is a 2-shot with Headbutt, and I have to use my Poison Cure Berry already. Next up is Fortress, another hugely tanky Mon. So we have the slowest, most boring battle of all time. We trade Swifts, Headbutt, Feint Attacks, and Screeches before it finally goes down. Muck worries me, though its defense isn't that good. Its special defense is, and it's going to do its best to make me miss. So I start using Feint Attacks. In that time that I'm using the Feint Attacks, he manages to Toxic me, and between the Toxis and the, Crobat spamming full restores and evasion boosting moves, I succumb to the Toxic. This happens twice, so I changed my strategy. Let's start from Will. Xatu is an Oko. Xatu 2 is an Oko. Jinx is not quite an Oko, but that's a range. Slowbro isn't an Oko, so that crit mattered. And Egg Salad is an Oko. Koga, round 3. Ariados comes out, so I start with some Confusion Cheese. It hits itself as I Screech it, and then Oko it with a Headbutt. Same strategy on Venomoth. Cheese Confusion. It misses a Supersonic, and I miss a Screech. I hit myself as it misses a Toxic, and I'm able to take it out with 2 Headbutts. I'm still confused with Fortress, and I manage to confuse it back. I miss some Screeches before I move on to hit it with a few Feint Attacks. Out comes Muck. I confuse Muck and then start hitting it with some Feint Attacks. I had to use my Poison Berry on its Sludge Bomb though. Crobat outspeeds me and goes for a double team. I proceed to miss a ton after that, and so I start to power through with Feint Attacks. He heals, and after a few more Feint Attacks, I take out Crobat. On to Bruno. Bruno I get past pretty easily every time with some Headbutt Flinch Cheese and a Feint Attack for that Onix. On to Karen. The issue we're going to see with Karen is Karen also has an Umbreon, and as we know, Umbreon is bulky. And it lowers my accuracy. I'd take everything out, but the time I'd get to Houndoom, I'd be taken out because Houndoom hits like a truck. Finally, after several attempts, I did pass it, but I decided that once we got to Lance, I was getting destroyed again also. So, to get through the Elite Four, we had to go level up. And we had to go level up to 74. So, at 13 levels above from where I started, let's see how we do. We're going to Oko Sweep Will and get through Koga easily at this point, and easily get through Bruno. Let's just skip to Karen. So, Umbreon starts, comes out, and I 3-shot it. 2 Headbutts and a Shadow Ball. I hit Vileplume with 2 Shadow Balls and get paralyzed in the process. I didn't have a berry for this because I wanted to keep that for Lance. Oko Murkrow, and out comes Houndoom. Houndoom comes out, and after Houndoom heals, I get a nice crit and take it out. I easily one-shot the Gengar. Even with Curse, it didn't matter. I did some EXP manipulations so I would hit level 75 before Lance, and then I used my 2 rare candies to take me to level 77. At this point, I knew this had to be the strategy. Here's Lance, and though this is not my first fight with Lance, I hoped it would be my last. I kept getting taken out by his Charizard at the end, but here's the winning fight. Out comes Gyarados, and I hit it with Confuse Ray. He rain dances and I hit hard with a headbutt. He comes back with a Surf doing 24 damage. I then take it out. Out comes Dragonite. I hit Dragonite with a Shadow Ball, and he Thunder Waves me. My held Paracure Berry does its thing, and then I get an unlucky para on the next round after I take out the first Dragonite. I take out the second Dragonite, and out comes Aerodactyl. I hit it with a crit Shadow Ball and take it out. Out comes Charizard. I get paralyzed, but, after a few hits, I'm able to take it out. It's time for the final Dragonite. It's coming down to the wire. Dragonite goes for Outrage, which I'm really lucky that it went for Outrage instead of Hyper Beam, because in Gen 2, Outrage is only a base 90 move, so instead of the base 120 that I'm used to, it only is a base 90, and so we get down to 11 HP, and then I'm able to take it out. At 11 HP, I become the champion and beat Lance. It's like an anime finish out here. After the champion fight, I head to Kanto, and there's not really much to talk about in Kanto. When I beat the Toxic Gym, I get the Toxic TM, which I'm really happy about. This is going to be super important for our fight with Red. And guys, this last fight with Red is extra cheesy pizza. I cannot in good conscience show you all the things I had to do to prepare for Red, or every fight what I had with Red. What ends up happening is a battle against Stallouts, Para, and a bunch of cheese from Red's team, and then coming in with some real power behind it, is his Charizard. So we're gonna really have some trouble. I ended up having like 15 fights against Red, and again, to prevent you from having to see that, we're gonna skip to the final battle. So, the final battle, my moveset is this: Headbutt, Toxic, Attract, and Psychic. Let me tell you why. I was lucky enough to get a female Umbreon, and Red's whole team is male. This makes Attract better than Confuse Ray because it's activated more often. Attract is something that you use. You might have seen it on Whitney's Meltank before, but what it does is it infatuates the other Pokemon with your Pokemon, and if it's the opposite gender, sometimes it won't attack, and it's actually more often than not, so I really needed it. The Psychic is to deal with the bulky Venusaur. The Headbutt and the Toxic are meant to deal with everything else. Let's see how this went. Red starts out with Pikachu, and I go for Headbutt. I get a crit Headbutt and one-shot it, and I needed to one-shot that Pikachu or get the flinch before it lowered my attack. Out comes Snorlax. I go for Attract on Snorlax and then go for Toxic. I get a crit Headbutt and manage to kill it. I two-shot Venusaur with Psychic, and I'm finally in a good place for Charizard. Charizard is the Mon that managed to take me out the most, thanks to Sun-boosted Flamethrower and the burns. I start with Attract, and then miss the Toxic. Luckily on the next turn, I hit it, and 3 Infatuations keep me from taking damage, and we stall out the Sun. On the next turn I go for Headbutt, and he hits me hard with a Flamethrower for 51 damage. 51 damage on a level 100 Umbreon. Do you see why I had to get it to level 100, and what luck this really took? On the next turn I take it out with a crit Headbutt. On Blastoise, I get the Toxic right away and go for Attract. The rain dances, and then it becomes infatuated. I get the lucky flinch, and I take it out on the next turn. Out comes Espeon. It can't really do anything to me, but I take it out in 1 crit Headbutt, and I won. This was super lucky match RNG-wise. I had lost about 15 times before, in levels ranging from 85 to 100. I had different movesets, but I determined that this was going to be the only one that I could win with. Umbreon's move pool is so limited, and his attacking power is garbage. I'm not looking forward to my future runs with Umbreon. Like I said, this took over 35 resets and 25 in-game hours. It was a lot. It's the most frustrating Pokemon run I'd ever done. Let me know what you think. What could I have done better? Will Umbreon be the worst evolution? Can Umbreon get worse than in Gen 2? Let me know in the comments below. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I mean, we're really growing out here, and I really super appreciate everyone who's been coming out to the live streams and the videos. And so I want to thank you. Let's try and get this video to 30 likes. I'm the Twin Leaf Matt. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.